Party maker. Shake it, shake it. Okay. Damn. Let me try this. All right. Okay, excellent. We'll do this. I look like an angel. Trying to look like an angel here. Okay, whatever. All right, let's get to it. Why do I wear headphones? I don't know. But anyway, hey guys, and welcome to another lesson that we have all the time, Mondays and Thursdays. You saw the little party maker lights going on. A lot of fun with the party maker stuff. I don't know how many of you are into video games at all, but I just recorded something that was kind of cool on one of my channels. It's a shooting game, and I was part of a match that had the fastest multi-kill in the game's history. So, like, I search YouTube, I search everywhere. There's never been a faster multi-kill than this. Now, I'm not the one who did this multi-kill. It wasn't me. It was someone I was watching. But fortunately for me, it has my reaction to it. And I'm going to show you guys before we start the lesson because it's kind of cool. So why not? Okay, let me see. I'll try to show it. You can hear my reaction. So basically, the guy kills 2 people with 1 sniper rifle in 2.4 seconds of the start of the match with 1 bullet. 1 bullet. So it's pretty cool. All right, so this something kind of cool. If you shoot at them from here, you might actually kill them within the first 3 seconds of the match if you got a grenade launcher. Move your motherfucking Confederate ass out the way. Oh, he got sniped. Both of them got sniped. Y'all saw that shit? Out the way. Oh, he got sniped. They both got sniped. Y'all saw that? So yes, that was pretty cool. The fastest multi-kill in Battlefield 4 history, or I think any Battlefield game. I think if you can find, I'll give you $100 if you can find any footage on YouTube of a faster multi-kill than that. That was 2.4 seconds of the start of the match. 2 guys dead with 1 bullet. That's a multi-kill. 2.4 seconds of the match. You can't find it, but if you do, $100. So I was part of the match that had the fastest multi-kill in Battlefield history. It's unbelievable. And when I say multi-kill, let me be more precise. With a gun, not like with an airplane or with a big bomb. No, this is just a gun. He killed 2 people, 1 gun, very quickly. All right, so let's keep moving, guys. Today we're going to learn about phrasal verbs. We haven't done a lesson on phrasal verbs in a little while. And I have a nice little website to help me out here that I'm going to be teaching you guys from, basically. And in the background, I have a fan going. If the fan is too loud, just tell me. I can always cut it off because the fan is, you know, I just need it because it's kind of hot today. So if it's too loud at any point, just let me know and I can end it. Okay, so moving on. I have this site here. We're going to have a good look at phrasal verbs. And here I have an extensive list of phrasal verbs, apparently. And it has grammatic rules. We all know the 4 basic types of phrasal verbs. There's separable. I should write them, actually, instead of just saying them. There's separable, inseparable. The separable, that's 1. The separable, then there's inseparable. I guess we could have some examples of each. There's transitive. There's transitive and intransitive. Those are the 4 basic types of phrasal verbs. So let's work on each before we get to the whole list, so we can understand what it means to be a separable phrasal verb, inseparable, blah, 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 blah. The list I have here doesn't contain it, but I want to teach you guys anyway, because it's important, okay? So separable phrasal verbs. So this one's actually easy. A separable phrasal verb is a phrasal verb in which the two words or three words can be separate. You can separate them. So, for example, to did to I think you mean divide. To divide, yes, it can be divided in a way or just separated. Like a couple who's been married too long, it can just easily separate. So let me give an example. Okay, let's do run over. Run over is a phrasal verb, but not only is it a phrasal verb, it is a separable phrasal verb. Why? Because when you separate it and you enter a pronoun or a noun, it still keeps the same meaning. It's separable. It can be separated. So for example, to run over basically means to hit someone with your car or your bike or your motorcycle. What else can you run somebody over with? A bike, motorcycle, car, bus, truck. I've even seen one guy get ran over by an airplane. It was a small airplane. He got hit in the head with the wing. It was pretty funny. So that's to run over. But it still has the same meaning if you separate it. For example, don't run me over. Same meaning. Don't run him over. It's okay. Don't run them over. All that is fine. All that works, okay? All of that actually works 100%. So it can be separated and it keeps the same exact meaning. That's basically what that is, okay? So, so let's go to inseparable. And I hope you guys get this because I don't see anyone really saying anything. Did everyone understand the whole separable phrasal verb? Like it's a phrasal verb that can be separated, but it keeps the same meaning. Did we all kind of get that, or are we all like sleep today? Yanis Nayu. If you guys are awake or sleep. Let me see what you guys say. Did anyone understand it? If you understood it, can you like put the number 1 there? So I know you guys are here. Just put the number 1 in the chat box. Okay, I see a thumbs up. I see a number 1. Okay, Nika. I don't remember Nika. She might be new. Paulina might be new too. All right, just seeing who's here. Some of the normals. Okay, of course, we got Olga. She's here. And yeah, we got Squig, blah, 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 blah. Can never say his name. But all right, that's what makes it a separable phrasal verb, okay? Now let's go to, oh, there's a delay. Okay, I see there's a delay because all the ones just popped up. But damn, that's like a 10-second delay. Is it me? Is it because of me? Hold on, let me restart this because that delay is crazy. I'm gonna restart the thingy. Okay, I am black. I mean, I am back, and hopefully delay is less. Now maybe I should close these. I'm gonna close these browsers that I'm not using. So there we go. All right. So hopefully delay is a little worse. Not worse. Sorry. Hopefully the delay is a little better. Okay. So run over is separable. Now let's get to one that's inseparable, which means it cannot be separated. Inseparable. Let's try. Run into. I love phrasal verbs with run. Know which phrase can be separate. You don't know. You don't know. You just have to know it already. Good question. There's no way to know. It's the same thing in Russian with yeah and yo. Same thing in Russian. There's no way to know if it's yeah or yo when they don't put the 2 dots over it. You just got to know already. Well, how does it feel to say you have to know, okay? Right, you just have to memorize. Same thing when I say yeah, when I was supposed to say yo, I don't know. Now with run into, this cannot be separated. When you run into somebody, it means you met them at random or you saw them at random. You know, I don't want to say met, but usually don't use this when you meet someone for the first time. So it's when you happen to see someone and speak to someone that you already knew, but at random. You saw them at a place, you did not expect to see them, and they saw you too. That's to run into somebody. But if you try to stick a noun or a pronoun in between it, it doesn't work because it's not a separate verb. So if you were to say, hey, Run Phil into. It's like, what? Yesterday, I ran Phil into. What? So that doesn't make sense. I ran Phil into. You can't do that. I ran into Phil. Yes. I ran into him. Yes. But I ran Phil into? No. Because when you say, I ran Phil into, run into, in that case, becomes a different phrasal verb. It becomes a separable transitive phrasal verb, which basically means to throw somebody's face into something. So if you watch wrestling, when, let's say, here's my cell phone, I can run my face into my cell phone. I just ran my face into the cell phone, okay? So, yes, like bump into. So when you're using run into with the definition of meeting at random, you cannot separate it. It just doesn't make sense. So that's an example. So separable phrasal verbs can be separated, and non-separable phrasal verbs cannot be separated. Now we got to get to transitive and intransitive phrasal verbs. So transitive phrasal verbs have a direct object, and intransitive phrasal verbs have no direct object. So I'm going to use this again. So for example, let's try this one. Let's try give up. We're going to do two. We're going to do which one should I do? Yes, we're going to do the one we just did. We're going to do run into, okay? Now, with this run into is going to be a different meaning. There's going to be a transitive meaning. One of the definitions that can be used in a transitive way. So, and only in a transitive way. So, for example, run into as in head into something. I can say, I ran him into the wall. I ran him into the wall. Now, let me make run and into capital, so you know that's what we're paying attention to. Run into. You could say, run him into the wall. Run him into the wall. Now, the object here is the wall. When a phrasal verb is transitive, it needs, or it usually has, an object. That's what makes it transitive. So if you just say run him into, it won't work. It needs an object because this is a transitive phrasal verb when used with this meaning. So you would have to say run him into, put the object, the wall. You should run him into the wall. That's how that works. Run him into the wall because it's transitive. When a verb is transitive, it typically has an object. That's how it works, okay? So an object is usually what the subject is basically, the subject is basically going towards the object in these sentences, okay? So let me give off another example. Let's try the phrasal verb put off. The phrasal verb put off. Put off. Now, we're not going to focus on separable or inseparable right now. We're just going to work on transitive or intransitive. Then we're going to go back to learning all of them together, okay? So put off. What this means, put off means to like cancel something or actually make it for later. You're making it for later. So if I want to see a girl on Wednesday, she can say, sorry, Phil, I have to postpone our meeting until Thursday or Friday. Okay, I have to postpone our meeting, or I have to put off our meeting until Thursday or Friday. Okay, so let me give you an example. Put off, not to put away, just to hold, like pick a rain check. That means to do it later. So someone could say, put off our date till Friday. She could say something like, I have to put off our date till Friday. I have to put off our date till Friday. So what that basically means is she has to cancel it. She has to cancel until Friday, which means it can still happen, but it can't happen until Friday. Yes, delay is another good one. Delay is another good one. Yes, I have to put off our date till Friday. I have to put off our date till Friday, just like that. So that is transitive. It has an object. Put off our date till Friday. What is the object here? What is the object? Put off our date till Friday. What is the object here? And I know there's a little delay, so I'll wait. Yes, date. So what are you putting off? You're putting off the date. What are you running Phil into? You're running Phil into the wall. Okay, so that's how that works. So this one is transitive. Now let's go to one that's intransitive, which we already learned. So I keep it simple for you guys. Run into. No, actually, that is transitive. Let me find one that's intransitive for you guys. Let's see. Yes. Let's try this. Look out. What does it mean to when you say it like it's like oh my God, now it's urgent. Look out. Yes, it means be careful, watch out. I believe in Russian it's probably осторожно or like vнимание, something like that. Look out. Now this is intransitive when you use it with this meaning because there's no way you can really use it with a subject. You could just there's no way you can use it with an object. It's usually just used with a subject. You can say look out or Phil, look out, or look out, Phil. Be careful, Phil. You can't say Phil, look out. Look out the ball or look out the sister. That's different. That'll be a different meaning. But in this meaning, you cannot use it with an object. It doesn't work that way. It can only be used with a subject. It's intransitive. You cannot use it in a way in which you're talking about the object. It does not have a direct object at all. It has none, okay? So let's try for another one. Let's try, yes, let's try. You can't say look that out because it's inseparable too. It's also inseparable, but I'm not trying to focus on that yet. I got one more thing. I just want to give you guys one more example. Then I'm going to give phrasal verbs that we're going to try to figure out if it's separable or inseparable or both, or if it's, no, it can't be both. Well, yeah, it could be both, of course. If it's separable and if it's intransitive and or transitive. Because some verbs, some phrasal verbs can be both transitive and intransitive. It can be both. And some phrasal verbs can basically be separable and inseparable. So we're going to see what they are, okay? So let's give one more. I forgot the one I was just going to give because I was talking. Jesus. Yes, here's another one. Run away. What does it mean to run away? Another intransitive example. To run away basically means to leave, usually your home, yeah, escape, to leave your home unannounced. You're not telling anyone, it's secret. It's usually a bad thing to do. You know, usually kids do it. You know, kids do it and it scares their parents. It's how they say, take me seriously or else I'm going to run away and come back in 2 days because I'll be hungry. That's to run away. But you cannot use this transitively with this meaning. You can't say, I ran away my father. I ran away the house. I ran away my controller. Or I ran away to my controller. It doesn't really work that way. Run away is typically intransitive because all you do is talk about the subject. I ran away. Run away with something. Well, in that case, you see there's a difference though. In that case, it's with something, yes, but that's not really the object of what the person is running away from. So like, for example, when I say, I ran Phil into the wall. If you run Phil into the wall, it only makes sense with the word wall. So if you say, I ran Phil into, you need the word wall there. You need it. You don't have to say you ran away with something. That's optional. But if you say, I ran Phil into, it would be like, into what? We need to know what he went into. So usually when a phrasal verb is transitive, it's because an object is needed to complete it. To run away, you don't need it. I used to run, yes, but you don't need it. That's why it can be both. You don't need it. It's not needed. Some phrasal verbs is needed. So this one can be used as both, but it's not needed. That's what's important to know. It's not needed. Some of them is absolutely needed. For run away, it's not. Because some of them can be inseparable and separable, and some of them can be transitive and intransitive. Right now, I'm trying to give you guys more intransitive examples so you can understand it. So Last intransitive example. Um, I I always run away because I hate my parents. Perfect example, okay? So now now I'm going to give some phrasal verbs here, and we're going to see if they're separable and inseparable, because there's many ways to put. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm going to put a phrasal verb, and I'm going to give the definition. You guys can guess. If you think it's separable, just put separable. Just put like, I don't know, how should we do it? So I want it to be easy for you guys. I don't want you guys to have to write the whole thing. You can say, because the only two words you really need is like separable and transitive. That's all you really need, because if it's not separable, don't put it. There's no reason to write inseparable because I'm giving you the phrasal verb together. I'm going to give you the words together. So there's no reason to write inseparable. Just write separable if you think it's separable. And if you think it's transitive, just write transitive. If you don't think it's separable or transitive, just say normal. Just say normal. So right now you're only guessing if it can be separable and if it can be transitive. If it's not separable or transitive, you don't really have to say anything. You could just say normal, because I don't want you to have to write inseparable and separable, transitive and intransitive. It's going to take too long. So you can write separable, transitive, okay? Sep, trans, those two. If it's neither, no need to write anything. So I'll write an example. Sep and trans. That's an example. If it's just one, write sep. If you think it's just trans, write trans. If you think it's all four, you could just say all four. And if you think it's just a regular inseparable intransitive, just say normal, okay? I'm just trying to make it easier for you guys. You understand? So separable and transitive, only separable, only transitive, all four, or just normal, which means it's inseparable and non-transitive. Inseparable and transitive, whatever, however you want to put it, okay? So let's get to it. Oh, this is me. First phrasal verb we're going to get is drop out. What does it mean to drop out? To drop out basically means to leave school early, typically high school. Typically high school. So people who drop out don't graduate high school. Basically, that's how that goes. He just dropped out of high school, or he just dropped out, or we knew he would drop out. Of course he's going to drop out. I knew he'd drop out. Well, he didn't drop out? Yeah, he dropped out of high school. Unbelievable. I knew he'd drop out. Yeah, he always dropped out. Let's see. So we got separable, separable, trans, normal, sep, trans. All right, let's try this. So let's start from, what order should I go in? Let me give it from the order in which, all right, so we're going to do separable, inseparable, transitive, or intransitive. First, let's start with separable. Is it separable? With the examples I gave, you should have seen absolutely not. It is inseparable. It cannot be separated. Drop out is always together. He dropped out of school. I knew he would drop out. Everyone thought he would drop out. His father dropped out. Everybody in his class dropped out. It is inseparable. If you separate it, it might take a different meaning. Let me see. Drop him out. Drop them out. No, when you say drop him out or drop them out, it sounds like you're pouring water into something. And you're like, nah, there's no separable verb, separable phrasal verb for dropped out. There's no separable. So yeah, I'll keep it there. So it's inseparable. Now let's see if it's transitive. Who can give a transitive sentence with drop out? He dropped out of. Can anyone give an example sentence? He dropped out of the school. Oh, not the school. We usually just say school. But yeah, he dropped out of school. He dropped out of school. Yes, that can work. He dropped out of school. So this is basically inseparable but transitive. But it can also be used intransitively. You don't need it. You could just say he dropped out. You can absolutely say that. He dropped out. Okay, instead of, so I put, oh, I see, okay. So he dropped out. You don't need it, but you can use it. So it can be both. So this one is not separable, but it is intransitive and transitive, okay? So drop out. Next one, Let's go to blah, 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 blah. Okay, I think I taught that one already. I don't want. Ooh, okay. Join up. What does it mean to join up? Does anyone know what join up means? Well, basically, to join up means to join. It's like to become an armed soldier. I'd like to join up with the army or something like that. Did he join up? Yeah, he joined up yesterday. I cannot believe he joined up with the army. Like he joins up with anything he can team up with, just to be a part of anything. I wouldn't join up with the damn army at all. Let's see, separable, combine, register. Well, it means to become a member of, basically. Okay, we got insep. Okay, insep. We got sep, not trans. Separable, but not transitive. Okay. All right, let's see. More guesses. Come together. Insep, sep. All right. Insep, trans, or both. All right. Sounds like we're talking about transgender people. All right, anyway. All right, let's first see if it's separable. I want to join up with the military. Did you join him up? Did you join them up? No. It doesn't work that way. Join up is only together. You cannot separate it. It is inseparable. Join up is only together. You can only use it together. That's how that works. Okay? So it's inseparable. Now let's see if it's transitive. He joined up his team. He joined up his friend. He joined up to the army. He joined up. He joined up. I don't think so. Let me see. Let me double check this. Join up later at the restaurant. Well, in that case, you're joining up to the army, but you're not joining. You're not making the army join up. Okay, let me see. 1 second. Join up. See, join. Okay. It's transitive and intransitive. Yeah, it's both. You guys are right. I'll just double checking. It's transitive and intransitive. It says intransitive and transitive. Yeah, it says both. Well, most of the sources I see just say intransitive. It can be used in a transitive way, but I think that's a little rare. It's rarely used. It's mostly intransitive, but some people use it transitive because join up also has a very similar meaning, and it also means to meet somebody or to meet people. So I joined them up with my friends. It means to meet people, like a planned meeting. So the join up definition I was giving was about going into the army or something. That's typically intransitive. But when you're using it to just meet with people in general, it can be used transitive and intransitively. So join up in general is kind of a rare phrasal verb. We usually just use join now, but it's definitely 100% inseparable. You cannot separate it. No one ever does that, period, okay? Oh, here's a good one. Here's a good one. Here's another one. To kick off, and I'll give some example sentences. I hate this guy. We got to kick him off the team. Yeah, he's terrible. I got kicked off the team last week, so now I want to kick him off because he's an asshole. Why do you want to kick him off? Because he's an asshole. I want to kick him off. I kicked him off last time. I can't kick him off now. Well, you kicked off Peter last week. Peter kicked his goddamn self off. He's an asshole. Okay, we see soccer word. Yes, also American football. Oh yeah, it has another meaning. But right now we're talking about making someone leave a group or a team. Separable and transitive. Okay, separable and transitive. Okay, so let's see. So let's get to it, all right? Here we go. Is it separable? Don't kick him off the team. I kicked him off. I want to kick him off. Absolutely separable, 100% separable. You can use it inseparably too. I don't want to get kicked off. I hate when I see my friends get kicked off the team. I don't want to kick anyone off. Well, that's separable. So it's a separable phrasal verb, but of course it can be used together. Now what transitive or intransitive? I kicked off. I kicked off, or I want to kick off. No, this one is only transitive because you need an object to kick off. You need an object to kick off. You can't use this one intransitively at all. You need an object to kick off. So I kicked Phil off. I kicked them off. You need an object because you can't in any way just say, yeah, we kicked off. Not with this meaning. With this meaning of having someone leave a team or leave a group, you need the object 100%. You need it because you can't kick off nothing. You have to kick off an object. In order for you to use this, you need the object. So it's separable and only transitive. It's separable and only transitive. So you will say to kick off the team. Yes, we have to kick him off the team. I don't want to get kicked off the team. I want to kick everybody off the team. Fuck this team. Okay? That's how that works. Alrighty. He. All right, next one. Let's see. And remember, always pay attention to me speaking because after I give the phrasal verb, I give example sentences from my head, and that should help you to reach your decision on whether it's separable or transitive or whatnot, okay? All right. So right now we're going to do move out in the definition of leaving your home. Of leaving your home and going to a new home. That's what we mean by move out, okay? So here goes some example. And you can try to guess before I say it. Maybe you're just really that good. Ooh, okay. Oh, all right. All right. Oh, we got people going forward already. Inseparable, transitive. All right. So this is about leaving your apartment or house and going to a different apartment or house, okay? Okay, so I want to move out. I've been trying to move out for a week. I moved out like 3 weeks ago. My superintendent wants me to move out, but he likes the money I give him, so he allows me to stay. I moved out many times. My sister moved out. You know, everybody moved out that I know at some point in their life. If you never move out, that means you live in one place at the same time. Okay, so let's get to it. Let's see what people think. Inseparable and trans, inseparable and trans. Oh, everybody's saying inseparable and in trans. All right, let's see. Let's see if it's separable first. Okay, I moved out. He moved out. We all moved out. I don't want to move out. It is inseparable. You can't separate it. Because if you say, I moved him out, no, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. That's a different word. That's like, I kicked him out. That's different. So, yeah, that's not in the meaning of leaving one apartment and going to another. So, right, it's intransitive. It's inseparable. Now let's see if it's transitive, okay? I moved out. They moved out. We all moved out. I moved him out. I moved out him. No, I guess this one was easy for you guys, and you're all correct. It's inseparable and intransitive. Inseparable and intransitive, 100%. Insep, intrans, 100%. So I can't think of any examples of it being transitive or separable because I think it's literally impossible. Yeah, it doesn't make sense at all. So very good. That one was easy. Inseparable, intransitive. All right. Let's go to another one. I got to pick a harder one for you guys. Ooh, okay. I think this one will be harder. Okay. What's the difference about go out and move out? Well, they're very, very different. Go out is like just leaving your house, maybe going to the park or going to walk around or going to eat something at a restaurant. Moving out is leaving forever and going to a new place, and you take all your stuff with you. So yeah, maybe you're good. No, oh, sorry. Yes, maybe you're good. Okay. Damn it! I forgot the example I was going to give. Yes. To set off. To set off. And in this meaning of set off, wait till you hear the meaning. It's to start a journey, to start a voyage, to start a new start new travels. That's the set off. So example sentence, okay? These verbs used in present form only. Which one? No, they could be used in past tense. Which one did I give before this? Move out. I moved out. That's past. To move something out of reach. Yes, but that's not the definition we were discussing. That's something else. Not the phrasal verbs I'm giving you, you can't only pay attention to the words, you also have to pay attention to the definition I'm giving you. That's what you got to understand is important here. The definition, not just the words, but the definition. Because most of these phrasal verbs have more than one definition, and that can change whether it's transitive or intransitive, or whether it's separable or inseparable. That's why you have to wait until you hear the definition. So with this set off, it's going to be to go on a voyage, to go on a new journey, something like that, okay? So for example sentences, we set off tomorrow at dawn. I was a little afraid to set off, but I did it anyway. Yesterday we decided to set off around 2 o'clock. Are we going to set off tomorrow as planned? What time do they typically set off for their voyage? Do you like to set off on time, or do you like to set off late? What do you guys think? So insert and trans, trans, in, trans, both. Okay. So, anyone have a definition, an example of set off, because it is inseparable, yes, but we have two people here who say it's transitive. Can any of you give an example transitive sentence with set off? I would love to see an example transitive sentence with set off. But we agree it's not separable. But how can you use this with an object? Because if you say, I'm setting off on my journey, it's still you setting off. You're not setting off your journey. You're setting off the journey. You know, it's not needed at all. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys can give an example sentence of set off transitively. When will we set off on our voyage? When will we set off on a new vacation? When will we set off? You know, something like that. So I mean, in that case, if you're saying that, I do understand where you're coming from, but it's generally used intransitively because you're basically focusing on the subject. I'm setting off. Like when you run someone's face into something, it's I'm running Phil's face into the ground. Set off a spaceship. Actually, I will accept that. I will accept that, but that's specific. That's specific for spaceships, though. That's a good one. That's specific for spaceships and anything that has a rocket. But you can't say we're setting off the airplane, or we're setting off the bike, or we're setting off. No, it's anything that has a rocket. So that's good. You can set off a spaceship. You can set off a firecracker. You know, like when you watch a salute. Yes, that's very good. What is... Oh, you might have missed the beginning. If you're asking that, I think you missed the beginning. I tried to give 5 extra minutes, but yeah, you're going to have to catch up late because I already explained that and I can't really explain them all again. But yes, set off is rarely, but it can be transitive. Like to set off a rocket, set off a firecracker, set off a bomb also. And then the meaning is similar to starting a voyage, because typically when you set off a rocket, it's flying away somewhere. It's going on a voyage. It's going on a journey. When you set off a firecracker, it's flying away somewhere. When you set off a bomb, I don't want to make any jokes with bombs, but you know, you're setting something off and things go places, okay? So that's a good one. Inseparable, sometimes transitive, very rarely transitive. Okay, let's try shop around. Okay, yesterday we shopped around for like an hour. I hate shopping around with girls. They take forever. You know, girls tend to shop around for anything because they love to be shopped. They love to shop. I can't shop around my neighborhood because we don't have anything. Do you think it's important to shop around? Well, we shopped around for like an hour. We didn't find anything. I hate shopping around online. I can't wear the clothes. Set off a debt. That is a different definition to set off, completely different. But anyone, opinions on shop around? Inseparable, in trans. Simply shopping. Yeah. Well, no, shopping around isn't simply shopping. That's actually when you're shopping and you're going to many different places to see which place has the best price, where you would spend the least money. That's what shopping around is. So we got inseparable, intrans, inseparable, intrans, inseparable, intrans. I honestly don't know. I mean, I know, but I just don't know how to say this. But first of all, yes, it is inseparable. But when it comes to intransitive or transitive, well, it is intransitive. Because when you shop around, you're talking about the subject. I'm shopping around. They shopped around. We are shopping around. But if you say, like, I'm shopping around for coats, the coats aren't shopping around. You're talking about yourself. You're talking about yourself. You're talking about you. You're not shopping around the coats. You know, it's not needed. It's not needed. It's not needed at all to have any object there. It's not needed. It's not needed. Some of them need it, but this one, it is not needed. I shop around. So this one is typically intransitive, typically. But there's probably some case in which you can use it in a transitive form, I'm sure, but it's rare. I shop around, we're shopping around, we love to shop around. But you got to understand, some of these phrasal verbs are typically intransitive, but in some cases they can be used transitively. Like the best example I've seen so far was by Ilya when he said, set off a spaceship. Right, you set off a spaceship. That's a perfect example, but it's rare. Like that's only for rockets and things with engines. Not engines, but anything with a rocket engine or like rocket type fuel. Because you can't say that for a normal airplane or a bus or even a helicopter. No, you can't say it, but for certain things you can. So we decide in general. It's not about you deciding, no. It's about certain phrasal verbs as having special uses in special cases. Some of them have special uses in special cases, you know, and Ilya reminded me when he said set up a spaceship, because that's rarely used because it's only used for something with a rocket on it. So that's very rare. So same thing with shop around. Maybe there's some ways that I'm not sure of that people use this transitively, but it's rare because it's typically intransitive because we usually use it to focus on the subject, okay? But I you know what you need to know more than anything is when something cannot be used in another way. That's what's important, so you know how to not use it. Like if you use a separable, an inseparable phrasal verb separately, you change the meaning. If you use a transitive verb in a way that is used as intransitive, it won't make sense. So sometimes you got to know what to not do instead of what to do. I mean, here now, when we answer, mostly we decide by general usage. Yes. Decide by general usage. That is the best way, okay? So it won't be too confusing. But in some rare cases, yes, it is. But generally, no. Let's try, and I'm going to stick with two-word phrasal verbs. I don't want to go, ooh, this is a good one. Okay, this is a good one. To wear out, okay? Man, when I drink, I get wore out pretty quick. You know, vodka wears me out. That's why I don't mess with vodka. It wears me out. I don't touch it. You know, sometimes I wear out my clothes because I wear it too much and it just, it just got worn out. I just keep doing it and it just gets shredded and old and ugly. Let's see what else. My eyes look worn out because I don't sleep enough. They're completely worn out. Or my PlayStation controller's worn out because I played so much that I can't use it anymore. I wore out my PlayStation controller. I wore my PlayStation controller out. It doesn't work anymore. It's unusable. Okay? It's unusable. Okay, let's see. Inseparable, transitive. Separable, transitive. Okay? Let's get some more examples. What is something I wore out? I wore out my blue pair of sneakers. I completely wore out my blue pair of sneakers because now they have a hole in it. So I wore them things out. Okay, so let's start from the first. Is it separable or inseparable? Well, it is separable. You can separate it. I wore my sneakers out. I wore my friends out because I pissed them off and I'm so annoying they don't want to hang out with me anymore. I wore most of my clothes out because I had it on too much, okay? So that's separable. Now let's see if it's transitive. So it is, first of all, it's obviously transitive, but can you use this intransitively? Can you use this in an intransitive sentence? I am worn out. Very good. Yes, very. I am worn out. I am worn out. I am completely worn out. Yes, very fucking good. Sorry for saying fucking, but yeah, good. Now it's typically transitive, but on some rare occasions, when you talk about yourself being tired, you can say it. I am completely worn out. I am worn out. Yes, you're the subject and the object in that case. Actually, you're just the object still and the subject. Yeah, but still, you are completely worn out. That works. That was a good one. So this one, it is separable and inseparable. I mean, it's separable, but when something's separable, you can still use it together. So when it's separable, it doesn't mean you can't use it together. When it's separable, all that means is both automatically. It's separable and inseparable. But with transitive and intransitive, it could be transitive only, it could be intransitive only, or it could be both. You see? So when something, all these phrasal verbs, all of them in some way can be used inseparably. All of them. But only some of them can be used separately. Okay? So that's wear out. Good one. Let's do another. Let's see. Let's try. Okay. Now this one's a little difficult. A little difficult. Now I'm gonna have to explain it to you guys. It's gonna be difficult because it's slang, and yeah, some of them can be all four. What, wear out all four? Yeah. Let me give 4 examples. I wore out my clothes. I wore my clothes out. I'm worn out. I wore out my clothes. Yeah, all 4. There's an example, all 4. Good point. Who is that? Masha, Mashulia, Kanyechna, all 4. All right. So let's go to this one. Hurry up. This one, I don't even want any of you guys to guess. I got to tell you this one because this one's complicated because of recent slang. Hurry up. Do any of you know what this means? What hurry up means? You can guess what it means, then I'll tell you if it's separable, inseparable, or not. Because this one is definitely difficult. 100% difficult. Yes, to rush is urgent. Yes, all those things. 100%. Yes. Okay. Now listen to this. In slang, they use it separably a lot. They use it separately. You may hear people say, hurry it up. There's a phrase, hurry it up. Now, typically, it's not separable. In proper English, it is inseparable. You're not supposed to separate it. You're not supposed to separate it at all. You're not supposed to at all. So, for example, you can't say hurry Phil up or hurry them up. In proper English, no. But in slang, we have a very common saying, hurry it up. So when you're telling a person to hurry up, you can say, hurry it up. You're going too slow. Hurry it up. That's just slang, but it's common. Now, is it transitive or intransitive? I believe this is just intransitive. You should hurry up, or we should hurry up, or yeah, you should hurry up. I hurried up. I went faster. I don't think you say I hurried him up or I hurried them up. No. But in slang, you can say I hurried it up. I hurried it up, but that's slang. That's slang. So typically, I guess in proper English, it is non-separable and intransitive. It is inseparable and intransitive. Yes, right? That's typically what it is. Non-separable, intransitive. But in slang, it could be all 4 because of this word it that they use sometimes between hurry and up. It's usually what parents say. Parents usually say that. They use it and make it separable. So like I remember when I would take too long, my mother or my sister would say, hurry it up, and I'd have to go faster. But yeah, it's a slang with it, okay? So that's just up for you guys to know. Okay, we have another 9 minutes. It doesn't really work that way. Some people may say that in slang. That's not in proper English, no, hurry him up. No. It's usually tell him to hurry up or make sure he hurries up. But separable, that's slang. It's very slangy to say it that way. Slangy. Slangy. Okay. Let's try. Hmm. Try. Okay. This one might be a little tricky, at least I hope it is. Okay, boot up. I'll give the definition to boot up. Make someone, yes, you can make someone hurry up. I made him hurry up. So yeah, actually good point. It can be transitive and intransitive. I made him hurry up. Or I want him to hurry up. But it's never, ever, it's never separable unless it's slang. It's never separable unless it's slang. Never, ever. Good job, Nelly. A lot of new people here today. A lot of these people I just don't recognize. Okay, a lot of people I don't recognize. But hurry up is about, I'd say 80% intransitive, 20% transitive. But it's typically used intransitively. We should hurry up. Let's hurry up. Go hurry up. Stuff like that. Now boot up. Does anyone know what it means to boot up? When something is booted up? Think of your computer. Download? No, ma'am. Wow, no one knows boot up? Yes, it's basically to start. It's either to start a program or to just start the system in general. So when you cut on your computer, you're booting it up. You can boot up your computer. You can boot the computer up. What did you do? Well, I had to boot up the computer because it was off. We have to reboot the computer. You can also say reboot. But yeah, I like to boot up my own computer. I don't want anyone else to do it. I had to boot the system up because it was off. So make sure you boot the system up before you try to use it. Stuff like that, okay? So yes, start the program or start the computer. Yes, to launch. Yes, that too. All four. Let's see. So let's try the first one. I like to boot up my own system. It can be used non-separably. Now let's see if it can be used separately. Let's boot the computer up. Okay, so that's two. Let's try three. Intransitive. No, let's try transitive first and intransitive. No, intransitive first. I want to boot up the computer. I want to boot up. He booted up. Can anyone give me an example of this, using this intransitively? Like I want to boot up, or we booted up, or we had to boot up. Can this be used intransitively? Any examples? Well, I believe this one is typically intransitive because you need something to boot up. Let's boot up the computer. Let's boot the system up. You have to boot something up. There has to be an object to boot up. You can't boot up nothing. If you say I boot up or we boot up, you're not doing anything. It needs the object in order to make sense. So I boot up the system when it needs it, or I boot up my computer when I need to use it. So it needs an object on this one. So this one is transitive. It needs the object. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's 80% transitive, 20% intransitive, something like that. But if there's an example, maybe I'm not. I boot up in the process. No, that doesn't make sense, because if you are booting up, what are you booting up in that sentence? If you say I boot up in the process, the listener won't understand because he doesn't know what you're booting up. It sounds like you're booting yourself up. Only a robot can say that. A robot can use this intransitively. I boot up. A robot can. Yes, did you boot it up? It is the object. Did you boot it up? Right. It is the object there. It can be the program. It can be the computer. It can be any of that. Androids can. Yes, Androids can say, I boot up all the time, and that makes sense. So this one is transitive. I think completely transitive, Siri 2. Yeah, Android's better. All right, so let me get to one more before we go. I want to pick something hard. Okay, this one I'm going to give it, and I'm not going to give any example sentences. And I'm going to give a phrasal verb that's obvious according to the words being used. So you're going to know the definition instantly if you know the words. Let's see what you guys think. Nothing to be heard but my fan blowing in the background. No guesses? Inseparable. No guesses. This one is a hard one. This one is a hard one. To be negative. Well, yeah, I think the definition is pretty clear. The definition is pretty clear. But it's not the definition. I want to know if you guys think it's transitive, intransitive, separable, or non-separable. Inseparable, intrans. Warn someone to do wrong. Yeah, warn someone from doing wrong. Okay, yes, you can say that. All right, so let's go to it. Let's see. Let's first use it non-separably, which is easy. I advise against that. I completely advise against that. Simple. Now let's try to use it separately. I advise him against the job. We should advise it against. Doesn't sound right. Doesn't sound right. Doesn't sound right at all. This one, I believe, is inseparable. If you don't know how to use it right, you might separate it, but I believe this one is inseparable because it may sound right. Right. It may sound right to say something like, I advise him against the new law, but in that case, it's not the phrasal verb anymore. You're just using the two words separately. That's what's happening there. It's not the phrasal verb anymore. It's just there's two words separately. Because this, I don't even know why it's a phrasal verb, because it's actually it's here on the list as a phrasal verb, but I really don't see this as a phrasal verb. Because everything else, what makes a word a phrasal verb is that when the words come together, they take on a different meaning. When these two words come together or when they're separate, it doesn't matter. It's the same meaning. Advise against. Like neither one of those words changes its meaning at all. So this is a very weird phrasal verb. It's on the list that I got today from Michael, but I don't know why it's a phrasal verb. Like I don't understand why. They both would have the same meaning. So for example, when you say something like I'm going to back away. You know, we know what it means to be back, we know what it means to be away, but in this case, when you back away, you don't have to literally move. You can just stop talking to somebody or stop spending time with somebody. You move away from them in a different way, not literal. But my whole point is with this phrasal verb, the words are nothing changes. Nothing changes there. So this is a very strange phrasal verb to me. I'm gonna try to research why it's a phrasal verb, but both words keep the same meaning whether they're together or separate. It's very strange. And it's funny because they both basically have one main meaning. Advise is to basically, to give advice, tell people what to do, and against is usually not in the same direction, typically. So I don't know why it's a phrasal verb. It's very weird. So anyway, so there we go, guys. We did separable, inseparable, transitive, and intransitive. If we continue this lesson, if we do, or even if we don't, I will look up why advise against is a phrasal verb. So that's kind of weird to me. I don't think it is a phrasal verb. It's just two words together. Like break down, that's a phrasal verb. Typically, when you hear a phrasal verb, you can't guess the meaning that easily from just reading the two words. This one is too easy, advise against. That's extremely easy. There's nothing phrasal verby about it. But break out, that is something you may not be able to guess, because you're not literally breaking anything, or to break up, you're not literally breaking anything, or to run into, you're not literally running into anything. That's what makes them phrasal verbs. So is it close to talk out? No. It's exactly what it says, to advise against, to talk down on, something of that nature, but it's literally what it says. So that's a weird phrasal verb. All right, guys, I will see you guys Thursday. Thanks so much for listening today. My sexy, God, I hope that's a woman. God damn it. I don't know. I can't see from here, but did I pick the right page? Yeah, I did. Looks like from your picture, I'm scared to say whether somebody's a man or a woman, but either way, let's just say thanks, person. All right, guys, have a good night or a good day. Talk to you soon.